Hi, welcome back to Movie Digest. In this video, I will explain the 2022 psychological thriller movie, The Immaculate Room. Spoilers ahead. As the movie begins, we see a couple, Michael Walsh and Catherine Frith, entering a room called the Immaculate Room. Everything in this room was white, with only a bed and a bench. This was an experiment developed by Dr. Voyan. The couple was so excited and pressed a red button which began the experiment. Soon the timer starts as an automated voice in the background congratulates them for choosing to stay in the Immaculate Room for 50 days. In return they will get $5 million as a reward. If one of them leaves, the reward drops to $1 million. They were thrilled as it was the easiest way to earn $5 million. Michael thinks they are lucky and that it's their chance to make everything right. They wondered how they would spend their next 50 days, as there was no TV or entertainment but each other's company. They talk about how to spend the money, and Michael plans to spend it on partying, while Catherine wants to invest. Later, they entered the washroom but were instructed that it was only for one person at a time. Michael finds a small touchscreen in which he can see all the rules, and he can also order food using that device. Soon the food is dispensed in a small white carton in fluids that contain essential nutritional requirements, which have no smell or taste. They were given access to set the alarm. The room also automatically changes the lights every morning and afternoon. The lights go off in the evening, and they must go to bed. While Michael wants to spend his days like a vacation, Catherine sets the alarm to wake up early in the morning. Soon the lights go out, and the voice in the background informs them it's their time to sleep. The following day, the device gives Catherine a wake-up call and turns on the light. Catherine goes to the bathroom and recites a few affirmations to keep up her spirit. They get the same carton for every meal, and are provided a new pair of pajamas that make them look like mental patients. Catherine wonders why Dr. Voyan is doing that experiment. Michael tells her Voyan is a crazy rich guy intrigued by the human brain and has been doing experiments for a long time. Michael suspects that Voyan is onto something, but Catherine is confident they cannot be manipulated. Michael keeps staring at the timer, while Catherine practices yoga to help her become calm and relaxed. Michael wonders why the walls of this room are painted white, thinks the experiment is some kind of a conspiracy, and states the seconds are longer than usual. Catherine tells him not to stare at the timer and should focus on the $5 million reward. Things get complicated for Michael when he has trouble sleeping. Whereas Catherine sticks to her routine. She practices yoga to keep herself calm while Michael chooses to run to divert his attention from the timer. They keep themselves occupied with random activities and childish games. Many days pass in this way, following the same routine. Finally, Michael is left with no feelings or emotions. One day, he finds a bug in the room. He begins to talk to it and thinks of feeding it. But as he puts a few drops of his drink on the floor, the voice from the background informs him that food is only for the contestants. Michael tells the device that if they can't feed the bug, they have to let it go. If not, it will die of hunger. Finally, Michael decides to press the red button, so the bug can go out. Seeing this, Catherine begins to convince him to not push the button, because they will lose the challenge once he pushes it. Michael doesn't seem to listen, as he is concerned about the bug. He tells Catherine that he isn't leaving and is only sending the bug out. Michael keeps the bug aside before accusing her of lacking compassion for living beings, and they get into an argument. As Catherine walked away, she accidentally stepped on the bug, killing it. She is shocked and apologizes to Michael, saying it was an accident. He doesn't believe her and spends his entire day sitting in the corner. Later, Michael wants to take a treat. As per the rules, they can take two. Catherine thinks it's a bad idea, because it costs $100,000, and the money will be charged from their reward. She even claims they don't know what they could get as a treat, but Michael says he will be fine with anything than suffering boredom. He goes to buy his first treat, and he is provided a green crayon. Catherine is disappointed as Michael spent $100,000 for a green crayon. He soon starts drawing on the walls. When Catherine notices him drawing, she approaches and asks him to make her drawing. While he does that, Catherine leaves because she is bored, but he continues to sketch until the chalk runs out. He made many drawings throughout the room. Later, Catherine apologizes to Michael for her behavior after approaching him. She opens up that the experiment is more challenging than she thought, and on the brighter side, they have only 20 days remaining. One day, Catherine discovers a gun in the bathroom. Both of them are shocked to see how it got there. Catherine wants to get rid of it by placing it in the laundry chute, but the automated voice tells them the laundry chute is only for clothes, so they hide it under the bed. That day, they get a video message from their family members. Michael receives the message from his sister, who thinks he got separated from Catherine and says he did the right thing, and Catherine is shocked to hear that. Later, Catherine gets a message from her father, but she gets frustrated and yells to stop it. However, the video keeps running despite her request to stop. Her father says he is doing fine and living in a shelter. He wants to catch up with her once she is out. Catherine cries out, and Michael comforts her before they both fall asleep. The next morning, Catherine doesn't leave bed. She tells Michael that the person in the video is her father, and she didn't see or heard from him for years. She lied about her father because she was ashamed of him, as he drank away their house and didn't pay her school fee, and ruined her childhood. Michael tells her to leave this all, as they have only 2 weeks left here. Catherine didn't seem happy and stayed in bed the whole day. Michael tells her to take a treat to help kill her boredom, but Catherine says she is fine and will keep up with her routine. Michael thinks he can't stay in that room anymore, which scares Catherine. So she tells him to take another treat, even though it costs $250,000. Michael orders his second treat, and to his surprise, a secret door opens, and a woman walks in naked. Michael was shocked to see his second treat, and she introduced herself as Simone. Catherine is also shocked and asks if she is with Dr. Voyan. But Simone was unaware of the Immaculate Room, and says she was an actress and got the gig from her agent to stay in that room for a few days. Catherine requests Michael to give her his shirt, so that she can cover herself a little. Simone sees Michael's paintings on the wall, and she appreciates them. After seeing this, Catherine becomes angry. Michael says he will sleep on the floor at night, so both girls can sleep on the bed. Catherine thinks there is enough space and sleeps between them, but these events upset her, and she couldn't sleep. The next morning, Catherine wakes up to find Simone is gone, only to find her in the bathroom. She gets more uncomfortable with Simone being friendly with Michael. Finally, Catherine decides to take a treat, and gets ecstasy, a stimulant drug. She takes one pill, and then offers it to Simone. Michael is skeptical, but Simone pushes him to take it. Soon, everyone gets into the world of dreams. Later, Michael finds himself drowning in the water, and sees his younger brother, who is also drowning, which triggers his trauma. Seeing him struggle, Catherine tries to wake him and bring him to his senses. He was still upset and began to cry. Catherine finally calmed him down and made him sleep on the bed. It turns out that Michael was high when he was looking after his brother, who fell into the pool. Michael tried to save him, but it was already late. Later that night, Michael wakes up, and finds Simone sitting in the corner. He was about to tell her about his brother, but Simone says that Catherine had told her. Simone tells him she lost her mother when she was 12. That day she had an argument with her mom before she got into a car crash. She was shattered and still trying to recover. They support each other, and develop a good bond. Meanwhile, Catherine wakes up hearing them talking, and finds them holding hands. Seeing it, she gets enraged, as she has been bearing their closeness for a long time, and accuses Simone of seducing Michael. He tries to calm her down, but she gets into an argument with Simone, and they shout at each other. Michael got fed up and yelled at them to stop while going away. The next morning, Catherine learns that Simone has gone, and Michael isn't feeling well. Just then, she finds Simone's message on the wall, saying that no one ever made love to her like Michael. He claims nothing happened between them, but Catherine doesn't believe him because Simone looks like his ex-girlfriend Olivia. Michael tells her they are tricking them into fighting, but she doesn't listen and pushes him, resulting in Michael falling to the floor, hurting his head and bleed. He angrily says to Catherine he is loyal and has never cheated. Michael also claims he left his rich friends because she felt uncomfortable, and many other things to keep her happy, only to get her suspicion and hatred as a reward. Catherine feels ashamed. She apologizes and says it's an accident. Michael thinks he needs to leave the room, but Catherine grabs a drink and cloth wrapped around his head to stop bleeding. Michael thinks he needs a doctor, but Catherine reminds him they can't have one, as there will be no medical intervention in the Immaculate Room per the contract. Catherine tries hard to convince him that he doesn't need a doctor and will be fine. Michael realizes that all she cares about is the money. He claims that the place is terrible and they need to leave. Catherine doesn't want to give up as they were so close to completing 50 days. Michael has made his decision and decides to leave, while Catherine begs him to stay as they can't throw away the money. Catherine then points the gun at him and threatens to shoot if he tries to leave. Michael ignores her and presses the red button. The door opens, and he leaves the white room. After his departure, Catherine feels alone and begins to cry. She continues her stay in the Immaculate Room over the next few days, being devastated and missing him after seeing his drawings. Realizing her mistake with only 2 days left to win the challenge, she decides to press the red button. A few months later, Michael is going for a run and finds Catherine, who is coming out of a building, a homeless shelter where her father lives. They hadn't seen each other since he left the room. She apologizes for what happened in the room, and now they decide to patch up. Michael asks if she has completed the challenge, but she dodges the question. Then we see a plaque that shows an anonymous donation that helped to build the shelter's kitchen. Later, we see a couple who took the challenge to stay in the Immaculate Room, thinking it would change their lives for good. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to watch more videos like this.